Hello and welcome back. In this lecture, I'm going to show you how we can read the course entity data from the store itself if the data is present in the store without making an API call. But before that, let me show you what actions get fired when we use NgRx data in order to fetch all the courses from the backend. So let's go to our application, and here we are showing a list of courses. Let me go ahead and let me open developer tool, and there let's go to Redux. And here what I'll do is I'll simply reload the page. And when I have reloaded the page, you will notice that there are two actions which has been dispatched in order to query all the courses. So this is the action which has been dispatched in order to query the course data from the backend. And once that was successful, after that, this action has been dispatched, query all success. And what it is doing is it is updating the store. So we have not created these actions. Behind the scenes, NgRx is dispatching these actions and it is fetching data from the backend and updating the store. So you see, this is the advantage of using NgRx data. We don't have to write our own actions. We don't have to write reducers to update the store. We don't need to write effects to handle side effects like making HTTP call to the backend. And we don't need to write selectors also in order to select the data. Everything is taken care behind the scenes by NgRx data. All right. Now, the problem with this implementation is if I go to network tab and let me clear everything here. So let me go to counter page and let me come back to courses page. You see, an API call has been made in order to fetch all the courses. But this course data was already available in the store, right? If I go back to home page and if I come back to courses page again an API call has been made. But this is unnecessary because the course data is already available in the store. So we can read this course data from the store instead of making any unnecessary API calls. And this is what we are going to fix in this lecture. So let's go back to our application. And again, I'm going to use a resolver to resolve this issue. So in the resolver folder, currently we have course detail resolver. Let me create another resolver and I'll call it as course.resolver.ts. And actually, let me call it as courses.resolver.ts. And again, inside this, we are going to create and export a function. I'm going to call it as courses resolver. And this is going to be of type resolver fn. Okay. And what type of data it is going to return? It is going to return a Boolean value. And here I'm going to use arrow function syntax to create this function. Now inside this courses resolver, we are going to write a logic to check if the courses data is already loaded, if it is already present in the store, then we want to read it from the store. Otherwise, if the courses data is not present in the store, then only we are going to make an API call. Now, how are we going to know that if the courses data is already present in the store or not? For that, let's go back to Redux DevTools and there you can see we have this entity cache, and if I expand this inside that we should have our courses entity, and if I expand that courses entity you will see that for that entity we have the IDs array, we have the courses entities which is storing all the courses, right? And along with that we also have other properties like filter, loaded, loading, etc. So here we are going to make use of this loaded property. This loaded property will be true once the entity is completely loaded. Otherwise, it will be false. So if this loaded is true, that means the entity is already loaded and it is available in the store. So we are going to make use of this property. So for that, let's go back to our resolver function. And here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say this dot, and here we need an instance of our course entity service. So let me go ahead and let me create a variable and let me call it as course entity service. You can also give it a shorter name. This is going to be of type course entity service. Okay, and to use it, we also need to import it. And using the inject method, we are going to ask Angular to inject an instance of this course entity service. Okay, so now here I can say here I don't need to use this keyword because here I'm writing this code inside a function. So here I can simply say course entity service dot, and on this we will have a loaded property. This loaded is going to return us an observable. Basically, it is going to return us the value of this loaded property. Okay, so here this is going to store an observable. On that, I'm going to call the pipe method, the pipe operator, and inside this, let's use the tap operator of RxJS. Okay, this tap operator will receive the value of the loaded property. Okay, and inside this tap operator, we are going to check if this loaded is true. Then we don't need to do anything. But if this loaded is false, then make an API call to get all the courses. So here we will check if the data is not loaded. If this loaded is false, in that case, go ahead and make an API call to fetch all the courses. So for that, we can say course entity service dot get all. So here we are making an API call as soon as we are trying to move from one page to courses page. So when we navigate, so when we will navigate from one page, let's say home page to courses page, at that time, before the courses route gets activated, before that, this logic will be executed. Okay, and once the courses page is activated, by that time, we have already made an API call to the courses. And this will happen only if the courses data is not present in the store. All right. So here we are making an API call only if the course data is not present in the store. If it is present in the store, in that case, this loaded will be true. So at that time, this code will not get executed. And from here, let's also return. Okay. Now there is one more thing which we need to do here is we need to wait for the first data to come, because as we know this loaded, it is going to return us an observable. So it will only return the value of loaded data once the loaded property is set with some value. So we need to wait for that value to come. We need to wait for at least the first value which will be emitted by this loaded observable to come, and after that only we want to execute this logic. So for that here, we are also going to use another operator of RxJS, which is first. What this first operator will do is it will make sure that whatever logic we have written here, it gets executed only after we have received something from this loaded observable. So it will wait for the first data to come, and once we have the first data, which is emitted by this observable, this logic will be executed. But here, let's save the changes first. And now let's go to app routing module.ts, and here we have our courses route. So what I'm going to do is maybe instead of adding it here, let's do it in the course module itself. So there we have this route here. Let me move this to a separate line. Okay, and here let's also go ahead and let's add a resolver using this resolve property. To that, let's assign an object. Inside that, I'm going to create a property course resolver, and to that I'm going to assign course resolver. Okay, so since the name of this property and the resolver which we have created it is same, I don't need to do explicit assignment. But if you have specified a property name which is different from your resolver name, then you will have to do the explicit assignment. Okay, or maybe if I call it as resolver, in that case I'll have to do explicit assignment. So my resolver name is course resolver. With this, let's save the changes. Now in our component class, so if I go to course component.ts, there also we are making an API call using this getAll method. So this getAll method, as we know, it is going to make an API call. So here also we are doing that. And in the resolver which we have created, so let me close this. Let's close this data service file. And here, if I go to courses resolver, from there also we are making the request using this getAll method. So this is fine. We are going to make an API call to courses entity using this getAll method from the resolver. And in the component, we are simply going to read the data from the store. So here we are going to read the data from the entities. So for that, we have another observable called entities. So what we are doing is, when we will move from one route to this courses route, or even if we directly come here, first NgRx is going to check if in the entity, in the courses entity, if this loaded is true or not. If it is true, then in that case, this resolver will not do anything. But if it is false, in that case, it is going to load the courses entity from the backend and it will add it to the store. And when this component will be rendered, by that time, this entities will have all the courses. So we are reading it. And with this, now if we go back to our application should still be working. As you can see, it has loaded all the courses. But now if I go to network tab, let me clear everything here. If I go to home page and if I come back to courses page, no API call has been made. If I go to counter page and if I come back to courses page, no API call has been made. Only if we come to this courses page for the first time, when the course data is yet not loaded in the store, only at that time it is going to make an API call. So if I reload the page, that means we are completely reloading our application, and in that case, it is going to make an API call to read the data from the backend and it will add it in the store. All right. So this is all I wanted to cover in this lecture. In the next lecture, we will see how we can add new entities using NgRx data in our Angular application. This is all from this lecture. If you have any questions from this lecture, then feel free to ask it. Thank you for listening and have a great day.